Hi Leo, this is your forecast for the month of June 2017. This is a general reading for Leo Sun, Leo Rising, or Leo Moon. If you have a different rising or moon sign, you might find watching those videos helpful or more informative for you. You can watch your reading in 3 different ways: the full extended monthly, or for just the energy influence, watch the brief. Or if you prefer, watch the weekly for the upcoming week. Weeklies also make it easy for you to review information you may have forgotten in the full reading. Please remember that these are general readings, and so they may not apply to everyone. If you would like a reading that is specific to you, please visit my website at thealchemistastrologer.com, and I invite you to follow me on Facebook, Google+, and Instagram. Please also check out my pay-per-view channel, vimeo.com/on-demand/finding-love for monthly love readings. So Leo, this first week you are concerned with power and security. Now some of you may be coming in contact with an Aries individual, but this is a week again that focuses on order, restoring law and order, control. It's that masculine power of self-assertion, will, drive, and achievement. So you're very focused on success, gaining some type of respect or stability, and there's a desire for you to create a solid foundation for yourself that has some type of lasting value. This is going to be a week where there's a lot of mental energy in place in order to gain dominion over a situation, whether that's a challenge you're facing or an ambition that you have or a structure you'd like to put into place. So you could be focused on your material wealth or simply owning your own personal power, coming into your own. Maybe you're trying to establish some pursuit or gain a job promotion. Some of you, though, will be facing the music this week. There's been a lack of progress, or someone that you're connected to, where there's been a refusal to own up to responsibility. Somebody may be running away from their problems, and maybe there's a lack of control or discipline, where power has actually been abused. Somebody's been taking their authority and using it in a tyrannical way. Now, for some of you, there's dependence issues. Maybe there's some indecisiveness or some unreliability. And there could be connections to the government where there is a need to make some kind of a decision or some kind of arbitration or negotiation. Now, this is likely to involve a father figure, perhaps an older man, somebody that holds a high position, or they have some type of wealth or title or importance in some way. They hold some kind of an authority. Now, this could be the company that you work for, an employer, it could be a mentor of yours, somebody that has a stable business. This could be somebody in the upper crust, the upper classes, a leader of some type. And, you know, this could be somebody who is willing to help you. But this could also be a person who is immature. Again, a bully, somebody who is abusing their power and authority. Maybe this is, you know, somebody who is a rebel, but a rebel without a cause. Whatever it is, this week is going to center around control. Who's got it? Who's running the show? Who's got the power? Who's got the authority? And naturally, emotions are going to come to the surface in connection to that. So you're going to feel particularly protective about you and yours, what belongs to you, your sense of security, what you feel emotional about. You're going to want to protect it, and you're going to want to know where you stand with regard to those issues. This is a week about truth and getting to the bottom of something. So you may be taking charge of a situation. This could center around trust, getting that support from other people, finally claiming your own personal power and believing in yourself and feeling protected in some way, or you or another person recognizing where you're vulnerable. Whatever it is, this is going to be a week where it's like a take no prisoners, a no holds barred attitude, where you're going to want to be very direct, very forceful, and you're not going to be afraid to confront a challenge. Again, a lot of mental energy is going to be put into focus this week, but you're willing to do that. There's something that you want. Again, you want to create that solid foundation. Now, for some of you, this is, again, the opposite. You're having difficulty gaining some type of control. In fact, there are issues of being too pushy, too dominant, too aggressive, because you just want to make something go, go, go. You want to make a situation move faster than it needs to, rather than organically. And in the process, by pushing too hard, too fast, you create more problems. So this is going to be a week where you're going to feel very intense. Somebody is going to feel a strong conviction in their stance to the point of self-righteousness. And because of that, somebody could get ostracized socially, emotionally. Some of you, you're going to need to accept that there's some things you simply cannot change. And the stress of that fact is going to create some disturbance within you that wears on your physical health. Somebody may be excessively controlling, domineering, petty, nitpicky, critical. Whoever that is, whether that's you or another person, ultimately, that ego, that place where they're standing high up, they're going to hit bottom and take a fall and realize that they're not running the show. They don't have the power that they think they do. So this is a week about leadership, taking the reins in a constructive way and using your self-control and common sense to get further ahead. It's a karmic card. It's a major card. So this is an important week for you. And all of your decisions are going to be motivated by your sense of security, your well-being, and protecting yourself in some way. Now, the second week is also a major card. So you have the beginning of the month that's very important. Now, there could be connections to a Pisces individual. This may be a focus on the mother figure. So we have two cards that could have parental connections, a mother and father. This could also be a week where you focus on children or being a parent. And maybe you're, gaining authority over a child in some way. Maybe you're dealing with the mother. This could also be a week where there's a sense of uncertainty. You wanted to know where you stood last week, or either you were being indecisive. Again, there were issues of a struggle for power and control, and either you got that control or you didn't, in which case this is a week where there's a sense of uncertainty, some doubt, some indecision because of some unforeseen or unpredictable circumstances. And you may feel cynical or depressed or negative. On the other hand, this could be a week where, you are tapping into your emotions. There's some past conditioning that may connect to the father figure or your boss or the company or your personal power. And due to some past conditioning, you're dealing with some emotional or psychological issues. And hopefully you're having some breakthroughs this week. But there are ties to perhaps family, home, the past, maybe even traveling. But there's some deep instinctual forces working within you. Now, if you are a female, you may be dealing with some health issues of some sort, some female issues, some digestive issues. But the family or domestic affairs in general could be a focus. Whatever it is, you are taking a closer look at some situations. There's some things that need to be examined in different parts of your life. And this is a week to be brutally honest with other people and with yourself. This is not the time to not see things for what they are or try to avoid issues. Now again, you may feel yourself being irritable, anxious, suspicious because you have this distinct feeling that some kind of impending negative situation is on the way, and you may very well be right. There could be a couple of pieces of bad news that you hear from or about other people that you care about. And this is going to leave you once again open to some physical upsets due to nervousness, anxiety, and stress. It could be that your emotions overwhelm you. You didn't have control of yourself. Remember, self-control was key. And maybe your emotions are overwhelming you because you just need to feel, you need to be needed in some way in order to feel good and validated. And because you're trying so hard and you want something so badly, you want somebody perhaps to love you, appreciate you, honor you, recognize you, you feel especially vulnerable to any kind of criticism that you may receive. So this could also be a week of deception, treachery, secrets coming out, whether they're your secrets or someone else's. Maybe there's some company secrets. Maybe there's some secrets connected to this emperor, this father figure. Whatever it is, you know, you could be dealing with somebody who is a liar, an imposter, an embezzler, somebody that's trying to trick you, pull the wool over your eyes, or there could be issues that, you know, where somebody's being impractical. They're living in a fantasy world. Now, fantasy may be important this week. Maybe you're working at a company where you do something creative and you need to use your imagination. You need to, maybe you're a writer, an artist, or something like that. But more than likely, you know, you are dealing with something psychological or emotional. And in the negative, it means that you've been in denial, possibly about your work, your job situation, your health, your relationships, your connection to that emperor. And you may allow, you know, these fears and this anger and this frustration to build into the perfect storm that you get caught up again in another self-defeating cycle. Rather than facing a situation and creating that opportunity to make some changes. Whatever you've been hiding from or hiding, again, that's going to come out this week. And your emotional and the material is all tied together. So if you're overly concerned with that, if you're preoccupied, again, it's going to be counterproductive and it's going to wear on you. So this is a week to be vigilant. That is the key for this card, to not avoid issues, to not remain in denial, to see things clearly, because whatever the situation is, it's not as it appears on the surface. So it's time to act, it's time to start something, and in fact, this could be good timing. The Emperor card says you need to take the initiative. Now, the third week, you have this feeling of being trapped. Maybe your emotions are overwhelming you and you're holding yourself back. But literally, it's your thoughts that are keeping you chained. Now, some of you, hopefully, if that first week wasn't the government, I'm hoping this is not anything to do with actual confinement like prison or jail. But this is where you are continuously feeling trapped. You may feel emotionally restricted. There's, again, this sense of confusion or not having the power you need. You're in this oppressive environment. And maybe you're not asserting yourself the way you need to. And it could be because you lack confidence, or there's some anxiety about your situation, or you're worried about something, or again, you're falling back on those habits where you're sabotaging yourself. And for some of you, you just don't have the emotional strength. And maybe that's because you're not up to par physically. Again, you've had 2 weeks where your physical health has been challenged due to circumstances. So this could be where you're caught between a rock and a hard place somehow. You feel confined by a relationship or a situation. Maybe you're going in circles about it, but somehow you can't get past whatever it is. But this is going to be a week, and possibly because of some secrets that came out last week, where you gain some type of illumination. Maybe you're giving advice, or you're solving a problem, or again, initiating something, or really coming to terms with the idea that you need to take a leadership role. And maybe you're reluctant to do that. So for some of you, part of this frustration is something came out and now it's setting something else in motion. There was some last minute notice, some changes where you're having to rearrange your priorities, your agenda, your schedule in light of this new information that you didn't expect. And the frustration comes from the fact that it came at you at the last minute. Now, this is passing frustration. It's nothing rooted, for long term. So you, again, may have to reprioritize something and make some changes. Now, the last week, there's this sense of trying to gain an advantage. If you felt you were trapped, perhaps in an oppressive situation, now you feel like you need to defend yourself. You need to defend your reputation. You're taking a stance and you mean it. Maybe you're drawing on that emperor card because you have the courage to stand up for yourself and overcome an obstacle, something that needs to be dealt with. So you are pushing through an obstacle, you are defiant about it, you're acting courageous, and you may in fact be in a position of advantage. Things have come to a head and right now you're on the top of the mountain. Now it could be you're rallying other people around you. Maybe this is where you were trapped at work and now you're having to, pull the team together and say, hey, let's get this done. But for others of you, Either you're making something happen and you're trying to keep your ground in a struggle, or something is happening to you. You're under attack. And it's important for you to not be stuck in a position. This is a week that calls for you to be flexible. You may have to change your stance at any moment. You may have to be resourceful, because if you stay stuck with one frame of mind, you may have to deal with an upsetting circumstance. This is going to be a week where there's lots of opportunity as well as lots of karmic challenges that you're going to have to face, and you're going to have to push persistently to meet a goal, whether it's small or something complicated. And it's likely that somebody's going to be looking to you for help, and maybe that's that last minute notice. Somebody's going to be seeking your advice or your assistance. And again, you're going to have to reconsider your priorities, change your schedule, and you're going to have to use that emperor energy wisely. You're going to have to inspire and motivate people to come to your side rather than getting in their face and making them feel threatened. So this is about gaining an advantage by pulling others to your side without making other people feel like you're pushing them or judging them. Because you could very easily, given certain circumstances this month or during the week, take your frustrations out on people. And so you're having to rethink some things. Now, it could be that you feel like, again, you're trapped in a negative situation where people are being deceptive, treacherous, they're taking advantage of you, they're abusing their power and their authority. And no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, how much effort you put in, it just doesn't meet snuff according to them. So this could be a week where you feel trapped and like a victim. But remember, it's only because you have not shifted your attitude yet. You need to change that paradigm. And it could be that, you need some new horizons. You need to change your perception, make some important changes, push those boundaries, or simply you need to wake up. Now, the underlying energy is this Nine of Pentacles. And so this is a month where self-reliance is important. Now, some of you have the good fortune to have enough money, enough time, and the inclination to relax, to enjoy yourself, to commune with nature. Maybe you're on a retreat. Some of you actually work with nature, you work with animals. Maybe you're taking some time to garden. This is a week, though, where the way to get ahead is for you to be mindful of you. If the I needs to be dotted and the T needs to be crossed, then you're the one to make that happen. You can't rely on others. Personal achievement is going to give you the peace of mind that you seek. And it could be that you're being very defensive and in protection mode because maybe you're expecting too much from a situation or from a person. Or maybe you're allowing someone to demand too much from you. And again, maybe that's why you feel trapped and on the defense, because somebody is abusing their power. If it's you, then, your fantasy is that bubble is going to burst. Cold, hard reality is going to puncture that fantasy you have going. The way for you to get ahead is to, rely on your determination, your perseverance. That's going to get you through. Your faith and belief in self. Now, some of you, there's some opportunities that are going to come up, and maybe they're connected to family or property or real estate in some way. Maybe there's some unearned income that crosses your path. Maybe you're getting some dividends or inheritance. Some of you are going into business for yourself, or you're gaining some self-control. You're learning how to master your resources. Some of you, it's, the way to gain an advantage is to pull back, to spend some time alone in solitude. Because this is about a focus on your physical well-being and possibly through some solitary pleasure. Now, some of you, you may be dealing with somebody dishonest. Maybe there's a poor manager, or somebody has a guilty conscience. But this is about, in some cases, financial security. Either you're getting some kind of benefit, whether that's a financial reward or some recognition, a promotion, or some thanks and recognition. There could be some fortunate things that cross your path. Maybe you're going to purchase something or inherit some kind of property. On the other hand, if you're dealing with abuse or oppressive situations or abuse of authority or power, this could be a loss of independence or some financial instability, and possibly due to some theft or the consequences of some poor choices. There could be problems in connection with property or real estate, or some unexpected repairs or financial setbacks. There could be this feeling of being trapped when you really want to be free. There could be some gain through deceit. The moon indicates that something is, not as it appears to be. So again, this personal achievement is the best way for you to get your peace of mind. There could be opportunities, some luck, some possibilities if you're willing to step out there and take a risk. But for those of you who are facing some kind of financial instability, this is a time for you to be mindful of your resources, and you may need to be more frugal. Now, the most important cards in the reading are those two major cards, the Emperor and the Moon. So either there's some secret, control over a secret, some deception at work, some issue between your parents, something being revealed. And this is likely going to trigger a change in your plans somehow. There's a focus on your relationships, whether they are constructive, whether you're handling them constructively, or you're dealing with people in a self-defeating manner, whether you are handling your relationships in a positive way or you're allowing yourself to be handled negatively, whether that's personal or in your professional life. This is also going to be a month of ambitious developments where your understanding is going to change. Your perspective, your awareness, and your belief system, your values are either going to be tested, challenged, or rewarded in some way. As long as you're willing to address some issues and tie up some loose ends. And the biggest changes are going to occur for you through these small little episodes that trigger some very simple but perhaps overdue and necessary changes. Some things that should have taken place a long time ago. And this is likely to do with the past. There's some situation from your past that is now influencing the present. And if you notice from the Moon card onward, we're going backwards. We have the Moon breaking down to 9, 8, 7. So there's a sense of going back in time or going back over a situation to redress something. Now, this is something that's not going to resolve itself. Somebody in the game knows what they should be doing, and yet they would rather just indulge themselves in some way and wait for a situation to sort itself out. Despite whatever may be going wrong, you're going to maintain your cool. You're going to have a level-headed approach to the situation, and it's going to be your willpower, your strength, and your drive that's actually going to push things forward. There's an opportunity here that's ripe for you to exploit. And the current situation that you find yourself in is never going to be better. So this is a time for you to claim your personal power and act on something. For some of you, this is very much about claiming your power because you're trying to be everything to all people. And I believe you had this in another reading in another month. So there's a lot going on around you, making it very difficult for you to tap into that authentic self. It possibly due to the demands of other people. All right, Leo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Let me know with your kind comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great month, and I look forward to speaking with you next month.